I accidentally saved more money by being lazy than I ever did by obsessively tracking every penny. My daily trade-offs became so automatic that I stopped noticing them, and suddenly I had money left over for the first time in years. Here's the counterintuitive truth about small money habits. The ones that feel effortless are the ones that actually stick. My grand budgeting spreadsheets failed every January for a reason. My brain kept trying to tell me, dramatic changes feel like threats, tiny changes feel like upgrades. When I tried to slash my coffee budget from $150 to $30 overnight, my mind rebelled. But when I started buying the slightly cheaper beans at the same store, that required less mental effort, so it stuck. The shift from effortful to automatic happens in the basal ganglia. Repeated behaviors become encoded as efficient chunks that run on autopilot. My $3 daily latte habit had been running on autopilot for years. The mistake wasn't the habit itself. It was trying to demolish the entire neural pathway instead of just redirecting it. If a habit feels like it belongs to a better version of you instead of the current one, your brain resists it. But if it feels like a natural evolution of who you already are, the change becomes invisible. 3 months after I stopped trying to control every purchase decision, my sister asked why I kept setting up so many weird robot things on my phone. She was watching me connect another automated savings rule, and I realized something profound. Removing decision fatigue from the equation dramatically increases success rates, because when every dollar requires an active choice, willpower eventually fails. But automated systems eliminate that friction entirely. My Roundup app had been quietly saving the spare change from every coffee purchase. Just $5 per day through Roundups equals over $1,800 per year, and doing that twice daily across various purchases turns spare change into real money without any conscious effort. The weird robot things weren't just apps. They were decision removal systems that saved me from having to choose between my current self and my future self dozens of times per day. Every automated transfer was a choice I'd made once that kept working forever. Do you trust those weird robot things to save money for you? Or do you prefer having total control over every dollar? Comment your answer below. Now, let me show you what happened when I stopped fighting my brain and started working with it instead. But here's the twist. While I was obsessing over my visible $3 coffee habit, my subscription bleeding was running $219 per month. But I only thought it was $86. That invisible 2.5 times gap wasn't because I was bad at math. It was because my brain treats recurring charges differently than one-time purchases. Every month, Netflix auto-renewed while I debated whether to buy a $4 magazine. My fitness app charged me $19.99 while I calculated if I could afford a $6 sandwich upgrade. The psychology is brutal. We scrutinize decisions we have to make actively while completely ignoring decisions we made once and automated. I had become a subscription forensics expert on my own credit card statement, discovering services I'd forgotten existed and apps I'd never actually used. I later learned that nearly 60% of people admit they have unused subscriptions running each month, with an average value of $26.79 in completely wasted money. But we'll still agonize over whether the name brand cereal is worth an extra $2. 6 months into my automated everything experiment, I realized I was saving money in places I'd never thought to look. My coffee automation had triggered something unexpected. Once I stopped making daily spending decisions about caffeine, I started noticing other micro decisions that were draining my mental bandwidth. The Roundup app wasn't just collecting spare change, it was training my brain to see money differently. I'd been paying for a meditation app I'd used twice, a language learning platform from a New Year's resolution 3 years ago, and somehow 2 different cloud storage services. My automated coffee savings had become a gateway drug to subscription forensics. That $15 weekly coffee redirect had unlocked awareness that saved me $67 monthly on forgotten subscriptions, a secondary benefit I never expected when I started automating my first habit. One tiny change had created a domino effect across my entire financial life. Making savings automatic dramatically increases success rates by removing decision fatigue from the equation. The three micro changes that actually moved the needle weren't dramatic budget overhauls. They were tiny redirects that felt natural. First, I switched my Roundup app to save every coffee purchase instead of just collecting spare change randomly. Saving just $5 per day through Roundups equals over $1,800 per year, and targeting my existing coffee habit made it feel like upgrading rather than restricting. Second, I automated one subscription audit per month using apps that do the detective work for me. And third, I set up what I call invisible transfers. $15 moves to savings every time I get paid, before I even see my checking balance. The honest timeline? Month 1 felt weird, month 3 felt normal, and by month 6, I'd saved more than the previous 3 years combined. These weren't life-changing sacrifices. They were tiny course corrections that compounded into real money. Subscribe for more counterintuitive money insights. Next, watch how productivity habits you think are helping you actually work against your focus.